We have Mohammed Bibai.
Same my name. I like the name.
We have Mohammed Bibai. And of course, the famous SARR without viewers, of course. Now, our viewers, you have to tell us in the comment section whether we have to maintain SARR
Yes. As a permanent member of here or something.
Greetings, viewers, and welcome to another exciting episode of Africa in Sport here on African Renaissance TV Network with me, Mohamed M. Sedeba. Well, today we are here with, of course, the famous SARR, Modou Touray here, to give us an in-depth analysis of on the, the second division, using his technical expertise in the game, and of course to give a rundown analysis on the first division, and of course we will get into the performance of Brikama United since he took over as the technical director of the team. And again with me I have my my co-host. It's great to have you back here.
Well, I thought you've almost forgotten me, but even if you had not introduced me, I would simply jump in to say, well, I'm also here. I'm Mohammed Bibai, and I am glad to be here today too.
Well, sir, welcome to Africa Renaissance TV.
Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm very glad to be here and to share my thoughts on the second league and also the Brikama United and the first league. So
great, thank you so much. And then we will start by going into the table proper. But before that, there has been games. The 18th, the match day 18th of the Gambia Second Division League. Where the first game took place on the 21st, where Immigration was the first game of the first second round, where they took on Immigration against Jara West. They drew 1-1, and also we have had FC who are the lead in the second division. So now onto the table we have a provincial team leading the second division league. How do you see that?
yeah, I think second division is very challenging compared to also the first league. I think yes, last season we were there. I was there with Bombara. But looking at Lions, I think they will be okay. For me, they will be fine because I saw their game. I think like a couple of their games last year with Jam City. I saw how they were tormenting Jam City, especially when they need these goals. Yeah. And of course, unluckily, it couldn't come. But their recruitment this season, I think it was serious with Umar as the head coach.
So now talking about Lions FC, yeah. They have a great challenging game. If you look at their gaming history, most of the time they lose against teams that are struggling. Like for example, their last game in the first round, they play against Gunjur, and then Gunjur narrowly beat them in the what do you think is going wrong with the team?
I think Lions should be like targeting in next 3-4 years. They should not even be thinking of going to the first league now because it's a new project, it's a new team, and then they are just bringing some of the players together. So looking at, let's say, for example, teams like Hearts, these are teams who are together since like 5 years ago. So that Lions is just created just now. So I think if Umar is able to bring them to the first league, I think it will be a big achievement. That
will indeed be a great achievement for the Gambia Dutch Lions if they are able to maintain their position, of course, to qualify in the first league. Now, Mohammed Bibai, now like we discussed earlier, Hearts FC, being a provincial team leading the table. Now they also win their first game in the second round. How impressive is that?
Well, that is quite impressive. On the previous analysis, Hearts has been on top of the table. This might seem as a surprise to many, but then to lovers and then of football or those that really understand football, this wouldn't come as a surprise. Hearts have been able to accumulate such wealth of an experience. Like he said, this is a team that majority of the footballers have been there. They played together. They've been through the struggles together. So coming of age now with experience and then with some luck, that is also important in football. They are on top. And then we've seen after game week 17, when the first phase of the league has been done, they've also kickstarted the second phase with an impressive 3-0 win. That is quite a statement. Like we said, they have an experienced team in the name of BK, for example, behind them. So whatever they are doing to keep these 3 points coming, they are heading into the right direction.
But now they are 5 points clear from the second match.
Definitely, that is the lead they are creating.
At the end of the first round, they were 3 points or 3 points clear from PK. But then the last game, they increased the run to 5.
Yeah, because BK has drawn a game already. So
I think Hearts last season they struggled. I think last season they could have made it even had it been their top striker. This is Ismail Serikan. Many don't know him. I don't know. They call him alias Cavani. This is a guy who is really talented. He's a top striker. I once was following him when I was in Bombana. They refused to let him go. But then, this was because of the injury. I couldn't get him also because he also would like to work with me because I was having some personal conversations with him regarding his career and how I can help him with some scouts abroad. But obviously, the kind of quality I saw in that boy, for a long time I don't see it. I think it's like Modou Zico. Yes, so it's this kind of quality. So I think he will help them a lot this season because he's fit.
Well, like you said, many might not know him, but right now he stands as the leading goal scorer of the second division league.
Exactly.
He outpassed Jallo. Now Jallo is second because in their last game he scored 2 goals from penalty. And then now he is 9 goals. Whereas Jallo is 8 goals. So it's still a long marathon. It's not yet done. But then now we have Heart behind Hearts FC. BK Milan, of course. BK Milan behind Hearts FC. They are experienced. They have been in the first division and of course in the second division. They have experienced players, experienced managers. So how do you think this is? Could this be a pressure on Hearts? Going forward into the games?
Of course, a big pressure because looking at Hearts, you have Ports, you have BK Milan, you have also some of these most experienced teams behind them. It's a huge pressure on the Hearts coach, of course. I had him speaking the last time about these people yesterday. In his post-match interview, yes, he was talking about BK Milan and Mourinho's expertise, and of course, when you see Mourinho what he did in this first league last season, you cannot count them out. I think there will be a huge pressure for Hearts going into this challenge. Obviously, no doubt.
Most definitely,
yes. Mourinho's experience, there will be a big challenge.
Mourinho is an experienced
coach.
Of course.
He has been doing great in Falcon, so I have no doubt he will. I think he will make it. I think
he can definitely.
I don't know about Hearts. To topple Hearts in the summit, it will be easy because they know each other. These people understand each other very well. But we have to be careful because Hearts also let one of their very prominent players leave for Real Madrid in the second round. So this boy, Madison, I call him Madison, but I think that might cause some delay in their progress. So, but all the same, Hearts are a team that recognize each other very well. So I think they will not have so much problem.
There is this phenomenon in Hearts where they rarely let go of their players to other teams in the game here. Like for example, Sekuba Jadu he's a great midfielder. Having the likes of Ismail Serika like you have highlighted, but then they have not been releasing their players that much to other teams. Do you think that's also contributed to their collectivity and also team understanding, team unity between them?
Of course, that's a big problem for these second division teams. They are not well recognized, especially by these scouts. So most of the players they are attracted with these like the Real Madrid selling players and the Walidans and paying big wages and all these things. So this is the problem and. Hearts looking at them, I don't think they have that bone connection outside. So this is a big problem. Not alone for Hearts, but most of the teams in the second league. So this is why they let these players go. But Madison recently was on loan from Real Madrid because Real Madrid they don't let these boys go for just cheap like that. So they will loan them, and then later I think they just sold Irajang to Slovakia. This was why they bring Madison. Yeah. This was why
Bibaji, we have Hearts they play against Serekunda and then they smash them 3 not in Jara. Of course, Jara has been a very difficult pitch for opponents whenever they play there. But then Tafamane, being the coach of Serekunda, he's an experienced one.
Well, that experience would really count a lot. Not just from the coaching. Tafamane is an experienced coaching, but with his backroom staff, they have the backing of experience. And then for Serhuna in itself, you have very good footballers there. And then, like you said, going to Jara West is one of the hardest, toughest opponents you can face, especially at home. That is quite a game.
And also in this Ramadan, that,
Yes,
it's
and
very hard.
it is in this
Yeah.
Ramadan. Playing at the provinces is that difficult. But then this is a statement, especially for Serekunda United on their position right now.
Serekunda FC.
Serekunda FC rather, Serekunda FC, or regardless of United and FC, but
So-
Serekunda FC, but it's quite an important one, Seriba. Like, when you look at the game they play, and this is the other ways to have some addition on footballers. They have like a couple of 4 to 5 players, for instance, that they've taken on loan. This has been happening all over the league. We have seen teams taking players on loan, but then that is quite important. I think Serekunda is also looking to really improve like every other team. In this second phase, the journey has just begun. We still have a couple of games to go, but then I think I would like to see the table after 10 games in the second round, able to see what happens then.
In the first games too, we have Arresta Linding and Kanifing, where Kanifing beat Arresta Linding at one and also GPA also at Gunjur. Gunjur, they finished their last game against the Gambian Lions FC and then they narrowly escaped, in the last minute, having a counter, Lions there from a defensive mistake and then to a goal against Lions FC. So could that be the motivation that they have in order to proceed into the second round, because we've seen in the first round they are a little bit struggling. So could that win be the motivation for them?
Gunjur, I think they have a little bit of problem this season because I saw that they left a lot of their experienced players prior to the season. They made a thorough recruitment and total overhaul of a lot of players. So, but the coming of Seku, this is a defender from Tengej FC. He's from Gunjur. He's born in Gunjur, but he was transferred to Tengej. I think for like nearly $10,000. I don't know, but this is a huge profile player. But I think due to some reasons, I don't know, beyond their control, I think it is between the team and the agents, and the guy have to come back. So he came back and then he's playing for Gunjur, and he's the only guy sustaining them, I think. But of course, football is teamwork.
Yes,
But
but
you cannot say yes.
but that's
His
only someone
experience,
who
yes,
can
his
start.
experience
Yeah.
is really, really helping them because he's very experienced, very good, technically, very, very clever, and he can dictate the game. And then he's doing a lot. I think his experience will help them. But Gunjur, I cannot put my money on them because, to be honest, they are inexperienced, and I don't think. I think they will continue to struggle in the second round because they don't also do a lot of good recruitment.
Well, that's a huge one.
Yes,
That's a
of
huge
course,
one
of
probably
course. I
there.
think
Well,
I'm not putting my money.
well, I think that's a huge one. But then we will take to our post commercial break. Then we will be right back. But before that, the games that played on the 22nd, another games played. We have Alias United against Medina, where they both draw 1-1. Also have Jam City and the Gambian Dutch Lions, where Jam City smashed Gambian Dutch Lions 1-0. We have Unique Global 2 played against Wagadugu at the Late Usman South Ball Field, where Wagadugu win 3-2. And then Hawks also plays Serekunda United, and then the game ended all level at 1-1 at Banjul. So we'll take our first commercial. We'll continue from there. Welcome back. This is Africa in Sport here on Africa Renaissance TV Network with me, Mohammed M. Sediba, and I have very interesting people here in the studio. I have my co-host, the special analysis here. We have Mohammed Bibai.
Say my name. I like the game.
We have Mohammed Bibai, and of course, the famous SARR. SARR has been, making the news, the headlines here at the football world. We have SARR here. We'll talk about, of course, Brikama United, their games. But then before that, so. The Gambian Dutch Lions FC, they've lost to Jam City, a team that they've won in the first round, 1-0. Courtesy to the goal of Badamosi, a wonderful goal from Badamosi. But we've seen their first game of the second round, they've lost to that team. What's your impression from the game?
Well, it's a bad result for the Dutch Lions, and then I think credit has to be given to Jam City. Looking at the first game, the first leg of the first phase, how it went. They've lost to the Gambia Dutch Lions, which was but then having them to come of age and then win against them in the second phase. That was quite an improvement from that end. That is kudos to their coaching staff and the players. And then the fans are like they have a very amazing fan base in this country. That is an important one for them. But Dutch Lions, to be specific, I'm having to lose or to start the second phase with a loss of 3 points. That is quite a bad remarks from them. But then I think the game was not really a bad game, especially when you look at the first 15 minutes of the game. They had quite chances that they could have killed the game against Jam City, but they didn't capitalize on that. I think the last time, this is what I was saying. Sometimes football is not just about ability and technique. It has to go with that luck. And then footballers need to be able to capitalize on their chances when presented. And then this is something Coach Omar Cham should really put to the players that they really need to have put up this. And then we have this problem with Dutch Lions that has been in the first phase. They struggle or rarely have a run of games, a winning run. We've seen them beat Jara West in the FF Cup. And then they've come for like this is within a few days, and then they had Jam City, and then they've lost again. So it means the problem that they had in the first round is the same thing they are kickstarting the second round with. This is a challenge.
Personally, I believe Dutch Lion, the problem at Dutch Lion is more of a mentality, when they are facing the game than the football. Because, they played wonderful football, like you said. Against Jam City, they played football very well, but then I must say Jam City played very well. They really played very well. So, we've seen, at the Gambia Dutch Lion, their game against Jam City, they've actually have clear chances, very good chances in the first 20 minutes, but then they could not capitalize on those ones. So what do you think could have been done better? Consider maybe we can look at the changes that the coach made. That could have given them a good results.
Deadlines on that day. I think they are just not lucky. But looking at the game, especially in the second half, they played the whole game, and the changes were good. But I saw one guy. I don't know. He's a Ghanaian or he's from Nigeria.
Yeah,
yes.
Timothy.
I think 2 or 3 chances fall into his foot, but I don't know. He miskicked the other one, and it was maybe lack of concentration also.
And then that was his first game for the team.
Okay.
He came
It's a
into
new
the country. Yeah, he came into the country.
Then
that's his first game for the team.
Okay.
Maybe that could be the the reason for that those mistakes.
Okay. So but maybe I see some kind of pressure in the players also. I don't see that togetherness. They are not playing as a team, especially in the first half. So I saw this guy from, I don't know, they recruit him from BK Milan. This speedy winger. I don't know, the number 28, but
the number 28.
Yes, Njai something.
Okay, Samanja.
Yes,
That's
crazy guy.
yeah.
So this was the only threat going forward. But yeah, the changes were good. The only changes I do not concur with is the Ghanaian guy. So, but other than that, they have very good young boys. I think they could have win. They are not just focused in front of goal, but obviously that was their aim. Yes, because Jam City were out of it already completely. They were even tired.
Normally, Jallo, their striker, their point striker, their number 8, Jallo. He used to be someone that scored, very very good game, very good balls. But we've seen in the game he missed 2 chances, 2 very clear chances. Could that be a pressure or because we've seen the owner of the team also was in the present at the game too.
Kemo is always there. He's always going to put pressure.
So Kemo is always there,
Yeah.
but then we've seen the likes of Ari Treffers, and then Josh also they were around. So could that be a pressure? Could that be the reason that the players were having pressure on them?
No, I don't think so. Because these players have been playing in the league for quite a long time now. It's in this second round already. So they played like 14, 15 games together. So I don't think that should be a problem with Umar's experience. Although Umar has not been long in the second league, but I think they should give him time to establish this team, because I see a big feature in Black Lions, because they have good profiles. I don't know who is the scout out there, but he's recruiting really top profiles, and I think they only need time to make them gel together, and then for sure the future is really bright for them. So I think they will not have a problem. That wasn't the issue. The only problem is they were not just having that focus, that the cutting edge is lacking. So I think if they are a little bit focused, Omar will not have a problem with this team because they have that moral support. Of course, every team needs, Kemo will always provide, and he have a very good people around him. These guys from I don't know England, and so yeah. I think
that's quite an interesting one. Like we will give you out to the scout at the Gambia Lions. Mr. Kemo Moro.
Yeah.
He has been the scout for the Gambia Lions. So, Mr. Bibadi, like, what should we look out for at the Gambia Lions? What do you think they should do? Like always, what do you think they should do to correct the mistakes that they have made? And then also to win more games because it's indeed a bad thing to be saying that they don't win 2 or 3 games in a row. That's quite not an impressive one.
Well, I think when you come to that, what they should do, this is a point where there are no mistakes. It's in the first round that you can make a mistake as a team and then learn from it or be able to have a second chance of rectifying them. But then there are a point where any point lost, you cannot gain it back. So this is where they have to capitalize. And then so this is what comes down to, I think from the coaching staff, they must focus on 2 things. First, the mentalities of the footballers have to be strengthened. This to be strengthened, what I mean by this is to say their mentality of having to understand that we need to be winning games. And then how are we able to consume on the pressure and then be able to deliver as expected? Like at some point, you don't just have to force a game. Like against Jam City, fine. In the second half, they played a good football, applied the necessary pressure. But then there are times when you have to be that level-headed to say, okay, let's just take a step back and then play the game and understand what are we doing right or wrong. That is when you can be able to capitalize on chances. And then looking at that, the final chances, like you said, is important. In the final third, for a footballer, that is one of the most important things. Dr. Lions, conceding goals has not been their problem. When you look at you can't really say less than 3 games that they have conceded more than 2 goals. Even if they are conceded, it has to be, let's say, a single goal, and then or sometimes they will draw a game. So defensively, they are okay. So that transition from the attacking, from the midfield, that's attack, and then the final third, that is what the coaching staff have to concentrate on. I think Jallo needs support. He is a very good finisher, but he needs support. We've talked about the likes of Badamosi, the second striker. But then his goals has not been coming. He's been providing some assists, but then we will need those players will need other players to be able to score goals. If they want to rely on Jallo, anytime he has a blind game, that is all the step for them.
I think that was the reason they bring in Timothy. That's the Nigerian guy. I think that would be the reason that they bring him. But then football, like we said always, is far beyond football only. It's far beyond kicking balls and all that. It has to do with mentality. It has to do with the support around. It has to do with a lot of things that are involved. Now both of you, what do you think has been the problem of Dortmund since the beginning? Like they've been doing well. They've won games. They've done really well. But then, what could be the problem? Because now, if we are talking about they're doing well, but there could be a problem there. So, what do you think that is the problem?
I think for me, their problem is inexperience, and a lot of boys there they brought in this year from they are raw. They are not even from they are start league, and then they have not been playing a week in week out, and then I think they are very raw. So they need time. For the coach also, he's just coming in the second league.
Sure.
But Umar's experience can be questioned. I think he has a very deep experience about the game. He will not have a problem coping with this team. I think they will do great in 1-2 years because they have very good young boys. So those kind of things coming into the league, like for those Lions, is like they just throw them in a combat. Yeah, so they just wake up and then find themselves in a combat. Sure. So obviously, judging their league standing, I think they are doing an incredible job, and the scouting unit have to be commendable. So also, I saw that. I think they are scouting from Ghana is something serious we have to talk about. I think because even Really Bandu do not do scouting international. So obviously, Dutch Lions in second division going up to Ghana, going international. Yes. This is something. This has to be. Yes, I think Kemo has to be here to answer to this.
Most definitely, I think we'll give that to Keba Touray. Keba Marom, of course, he's a scout.
Oh, Keba, yeah.
He has been doing
former player in Georgia, I think.
Yes, and he also played for PK Milan and all that. So now, what do you think is the problem?
Well, I think I wouldn't want to repeat what he said. It's quite technical, but I want to be specific on the last game against Jam City. one of their biggest problems against Jam City was they couldn't contain the pressure. There was huge expectations on them. The players, I think, before the game, they knew there was like you said, one of the owners of the clubs was there, Ari, from Holland, and then you have Kemo. Kemo has always been an ever player, so that was a norm. That was normal for them. But having someone like Ari there, then it's like psychologically, the players have been forced to say we must perform.
We must win.
We must win.
I have to show that
we must impress somebody in the stands. We have to. So I think that pressure is what they couldn't contain. So I think, but that still comes down to mentality. That is when the coaching staff have to be able to work on them to make sure they are okay with that. Football comes with pressure. In fact, what makes football amazing is the pressure that comes with it. There's a pressure from the fans. The fans have an expectation. The stakeholders, the opponent, everyone has an expectation. But you as a player, trying to match that up, that is what makes you a professional.
That's really an interesting one. I think personally, I would even agree with that because like the Englishman would say always, if you want to be perfect, always you will make mistakes. So the players, I think the mentality they have going into the game is to show that because there's a scout there, there's someone that is that we expect something from. So I have to perform very well. I have to do my best to make sure that I'm selected or I'm seen as the best. So now I think we will now have to transition. The discussion is interesting, but we will transition. Now, I will not come to you first, but now, we have SARR. He left Bombardier for Brikama United recently. And then, we've seen very good results coming up at the Brikama United.
A lot of people will tell you. In fact, I would like to say this. My grandma will always tell me, if it happens once...
Well, I think before that, we have to congratulate him.
We will do the congratulations. I will say a big congrats to him as a person. But then to Brikama United, for being lucky, I will call them lucky. This is important. But like I said, if it happens once, it becomes luck. But if it is 2, 3, 4 times, it's beyond luck. This has to be attributed to something. This has to be attributed to a technical expertise, experience, exposure. Someone who has the backing of all these three is an asset that has been transferred from Bombardier to Brikama United. So I think this would be a big congrats, not just SARR, but then Brikama United. Like before you come to that, I know he has before when you look at the first phase of the competition in the first league. Brikama United have not been really performing. They've struggled to win games. In fact, there are statistics going all over that they've won actually a single game in the whole sports. But so having someone added in the backroom staff as a technical expert, and then we've seen a change of results all of a sudden, and they've not just results. They've been winning games. They've been playing well, and then they've been having a winning run. This is 4 games up running, and they've been winning. I think that is 12, the 16 solid points. I think you must ask him first. How did he do?
Yes, so that's why I have to come back to you. What are some of the things that you do?
What was the problem? What did you come see?
Yes, I think you can answer from that.
I cannot tell you my secrets from media because there are other coaches there. So,
definitely.
But don't worry. Obviously, at Brikama it was really easy. It's like drinking water for me. Going and obviously take that water and then drink because I know the club very well. It's my boyhood club. I have been there for over 6 seasons, so I played with them. So
back home.
Yes, so that was not an easy experience. Yeah. So I know the culture. When I came there, some of the old things I do not find it. So this is what I brought back. Yeah. The mentality has changed. The players, like for example, footballers are very lazy here. So I changed the concept because when I first came, the coach was like. Coming with a list of so many discipline problems. I say, I want you to get notice of this. I want you to put this to every player. They all have to pay this. If anybody comes late, they have to pay $100. So they were having big problems. So I said, no, you don't need this, I don't think. So I tried to abolish. But I took the paper from you. I said, no problem, I will put it. So I go with the paper. But what I did was, the method is simple. Because these players, there's this, in Europe, there's this tracking system where they track every player. So they know in the machine who is working hard, who is not. Like, for example, in Liverpool, they need like 50 kilometers a week from everybody before you start a particular gym. So in Brikama, we don't have this. But what I did was, I tried to, after every gym, I understand that there are certain experienced players who will be staying at home. They will not come for training. But after a gym, a day after the gym is very important for me because this is a day to recover.
Recovery is
Yes,
very important.
recovery, yes. This is my problem. I am like these French coaches, they like recovery so much in France. But when they come, we will recover like, we have this tracking system on the phone. So everybody has a smartphone. So I put the Adidas running system there. So whereby a recovery day, everybody needs at least 5 kilometers under 30 minutes. This is a slow tempo recovery. So they will do this. And after this, we will do some body work and then they relax until tomorrow. So like 15, 16 players were coming for the recovery. The rest of the players stay at home. So when they come the following day, the players who were not there, so when they come, they will all go for the recovery before they even join the first team. So after their recovery, they have another extra work. To them, it's a kind of punishment. But I told them, no, this is not. I try to just arouse their interest.
Well, I can say that works out well for you.
Of course,
because it's 4 out of 4, 4 games out of 4 games. Well, like you said, we would like to congratulate you. It's indeed, a great performance from you, and then both the management and of course, the team of Brikama United have been doing great. Their games, they played a really good game, since you take over as technical director. Now, Bibaji, we will have to take our, because, time is not actually on our side. So, but then, what do you have to say?
Well, I think in the Gambia, I think when I want to say Brikama United is lucky, I would first want to say Gambia is lucky. I mean, if we have talents like that, if we have expertise like SARR, I think as a country we should be able to tap on them, to capitalize on them, to make sure he helps other people to have such an exposure. But I think we'll have to do this all over again someday. He has to come here again because we need to really understand from SARR as a person, what has been the history behind him. Because that is important. These are things that you don't just learn in the classroom. These are things that you don't just have within a day or within a year. It has to be the accumulation of an experience of a lifetime. So, but this is working out for him, and I'm really glad that this is working out for him. And then for the Brikama United stakeholders, the fans, the coaching staff, the players, and every other support they have out there. So that's quite an interesting thing for them.
Well, I think we will have to negotiate with our time, with our viewers. Now, our viewers, you have to tell us in the comment section whether we have to maintain SARR
as a permanent member here.
Because we will definitely want to have a discussion on the some of the backgrounds that you've been doing to ensure that Brikama United it's really amazing. Win only won a single game now, winning 4 out of 4 games since you take over. It's really great. So time. This is what time has given us. But then I believe we will come back here to have more discussion on the topics that we have here. So well, viewers, this is all we have for you. Africa in Sport, of course, on Africa Renaissance TV. This program is always brought to you here by the Gambia.Line Consortium. Like we said, always Gambia.Line FC is a team that is playing under the second division league of the Gambia Football Federation, and of course they have a third division team playing at the West Coast Region third division games. So team will come your way next time. Mohammed M. Bye bye.